All right, so how y'all doing? My name's Gennard,
I'm Megan.
and we've been married about 10 years now.
Yes, this year is 10.
Yeah, going on 10 years. This year's make 10.
And we are
The
the
Davis family.
Davis family. Oh, so in the bag, right?
Yep.
All right, let's see.
What we got? What
Is
we
there
got in
some
the
money in
bag?
the bag? No.
It's a Gucci bag.
All right, let's see. What is a tradition from your family that you want to take into our family?
What is the tradition from my family?
Yeah.
I don't even remember. Besides, what is the tradition from your family that you want to take into your family, into my family? I guess like like on Sundays, my mom used to play music and clean up.
Oh,
And I started doing
you want to clean up?
yeah, cleaning
Well,
up.
if I would have known, that's what I needed to do was play some music for you to clean up.
Yeah, I mean I like to listen to slow jams and clean up.
Well, you did have some music on the other Sunday. When
Cleaning
you
up
came
and
home.
cooking, yeah.
So for me, I'm sitting here. I'm thinking all about your family. I wasn't thinking about.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, cause I ain't want to be negative. I'm like,
I
what other
think
tradition?
just to get together on the holidays, like
Mm-hmm.
that's always my favorite time. Being able to celebrate with family, do activities and whatnot, and which we do that. You know?
Right.
So
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Oh,
The
my
mic.
bad. You want to go for the next one?
Yeah. Is there a couple who has a relationship that you look up to?
What's the girl to workout people?
You talk about
Mrs. 2 weeks out.
Mrs. 2 weeks out and Mr. 2 weeks out.
Yeah, I really like them a lot. I think they cute. I just like them. I like how they play together. Their interactions. They the workout couple. So I like them a lot. They on my vision board.
Well, my couple would be Betty Shabazz and Malcolm X.
Oh.
I mean Betty. I mean, of course I got some new people that I look up to.
I mean, you can have them. I'm not. I'm just,
I have several. I have more than one though. So I mean, I do look up, like I say, Betty Shabazz and Mr. Malcolm. And it's
so
because
what about them?
I mean, she took him for who he was, like you did me. So that's the reason why I like him a lot. Like he went through what he went through before he found himself and stuff like that, and and she held him down. So that's one of my couples I look up to.
See, you sound like Clay from Love Is Blind.
Clay, I don't even know who this dude is. I'm not gonna say
You
I
ain't
don't know.
watch it, so you don't know. I'm just playing. I'm just joking.
I've been hearing about this guy, Clay.
I'm just joking.
Nah, you good.
Oh, so Gennard, you was telling me earlier about how you had friends and family telling you about quitting your job and becoming one. I'm like stay at home dad. So
Right.
so like how was that experience for both of y'all?
I mean, honestly, being a stay-at-home dad, it has its ups and downs. But my wife actually showed me how to look at it in a positive way. You know what I'm saying? So, as far as your question, I mean, everyone, I guess my family, they really didn't have anything negative to say because they looked at it like, you got to do what you have to do for your family. So I mean, I don't think that my family per se had anything negative to say about it.
I think you mentioned a few people though that with the whole, I guess, like, as a man.
Yeah,
those
that
type
was
of
that was
things.
mostly Instagram, internet people. That was mostly black men, But I mean, people would look at it. How I think about it, like I have, I guess, associates that may ask like, as a man, do you feel some type of way, because it wasn't just the whole stay-at-home dad. It was mostly like, by you making more than me as in your profession, it may be, oh, how do you feel about that? Or do you feel some type of way that your wife make more than you and you being a stay-at-home dad? It was mostly like that.
People was asking that?
Yeah, people ask that. Cause they, you know, the narrative is like the man's supposed to be the protector and provider, but protector and provider is subjective, because I was still protecting and I was providing. I was just doing it in a different way.
Yeah, and that's what I have
That's what you
always
taught me.
agreed
Yeah, I mean,
with,
that's what
was
you told me.
Yeah, I think that in terms of society, there's like this picture of how life is supposed to be, but then that does not always translate to real life. And so what was interesting more so for me was like, going to work and talking to other people, sometimes talking with people that was outside of my race, they would be like, oh yeah, my family, my so-and-so in my family was a stay-at-home dad, and this person was a stay-at-home dad, and you would see these people being successful. So I just kind of felt like, well, why in my community are we hearing this message like, oh, don't do that, that's not a real man, or whatever the message is, if somebody does that, when in fact it is still providing in a way. And to me, what is most interesting, as he mentioned, like this year makes our 10 years of being married. We've had so many ups, downs, waves with he's made more, I've made more, transitioning. I was in nursing school, not making much of nothing. I think at first wasn't even working at all. So he was making the money, And that's the thing, like marriage is a journey. So just because that was a season of our life, that wasn't forever. And I think that's what people have to realize, that your relationship is supposed to be forever. So all of that extra input from other people, that's why I say, people were saying that, like, because he knows I have zero tolerance for nonsense and foolishness. So, and I feel like, why are you in my business? Like, unless you about to give me some money.
Which go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
But, well, yeah, if somebody was directly. But, as a wife supporting my husband in a sense of like, I feel like mentally and emotionally that side, because in terms of like money, that's a conversation, that's an agreement for a couple. But the other side was like the emotional side, and me having to understand like just him dealing with like different stresses that come from the situation. So I think it definitely challenged us as a couple. But I'm thankful that we did it, because at that time, COVID was happening. I was still in the hospital. I was working 2 jobs, in fact, at the time. So
your pregnancy.
All of that. So it's just like, at some point, you have to start making decisions of, well, what's best for our family? Yes, we can put our kids in daycare, but is it safe to go to the daycare right now, So when you start thinking about your family and making moves for your family unit, that's when you can make the best decisions, versus if I'm thinking about what somebody's going to say, well, I'm not going to be making the best decisions for my family.
Right. And also, me coming with statistics, it's like we could go on with this whole narrative and this thing of, like you said, what she said about the like other ethnicities, seeing other people do it. I honestly seen the same thing, because I would go to the library on Mondays. We would go to the library on Mondays. We'd go to the museum on Wednesdays. And I didn't see people that looked like me.
Let's see.
What we have?
How do you define a successful relationship?
How I define a successful relationship, that could be subjective, because success is how you view success. So success to me, how I view a successful relationship is basically looking at the kids and looking at the spouses, because I think that with the spouses, I think that you should be elevating and I should be elevating, and the kids are going to elevate also. So I think that should be a successful marriage, because I think that one thing that I'm noticing with people that I see now, everybody want to talk this and talk that, and I think that I would judge you, which is not my job to judge or criticize, but I will judge you off of how you're treating your wife and your spouse, or your kids also. Your kids gonna tell you if you're doing a great job as a parent anyway.
You think so?
In a way, it's gonna show within them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I say that. I mean, but I'm not saying that that's the end all be all to everything. But I do feel like that's how I view a successful relationship is by how you guys are moving as a unit.
Yeah. That's good. I think for me, I would say like if that unit is moving under God's plan, because I think we did not do that at some times, and then you kind of see how things kind of fall apart and you lose direction and vision. So in coming together and really trying to look at the word for principles and whatnot, a lot of the actions that we take and do follow biblical principles and whatnot. So by living a life based on that, I think that defines success. And then on the other side, I think you kind of, thank you, baby. On the other side of that, just kind of like you said, what you see by a family, right? So what they put out and whatnot, I do hope that, the kids and whatnot do be a reflection of the work that we do, because I think that we both take like parenting, our marriage, the examples we set very seriously. We are very intentional about the actions, and we don't always get it right, and certainly haven't gotten it right all the time in the past. But you learn, you communicate, you sit down and get to know somebody else, because the reality is like he's not going to do everything how I would do it and vice versa. So like having to like stop, it's taken me 10 years to realize this, but to stop and listen, that has changed the game. So I think that has led to some of our recent success. Right.
And we not talking about a 57-second clip or 1 minute clip on Instagram that somebody could see, oh, this couple looks successful, but then if you see them out in the street, you know what I'm saying, they not. So that's what I like how you saying about that too, because I mean, everything we not getting right, but that you gonna be able to see that within your kids and your spouse if you're doing the right job. Because that's one thing I'm learning. Like, I don't want to be a public success and a private failure, because we can see a lot of people out here doing things, but his wife can't stand him. You could tell that when they're in the public, she's looking at his wife like, you could tell that they're not really in sync. Because they, so that's how I say, that's why I say judging it by, like you said, that just having that family dynamic, I would say.
Okay. Want to do that thought?
Yeah, you told me you were going to pull out the bag. Let's see. I already know what you're going to say. What book or movie made the biggest impact on you when you were young? I already know.
What you think?
I think Love and Basketball or Bodyguard by Whitney Houston.
Was good.
Come on, man.
No. You want to know? Soul Food.
Fate? F my husband.
Oh, no.
Soul Food.
Yeah, that was a good. I was just talking to when I went to go get my hair done. I was talking with the hairstylist because a song played, and I'm like, man, they don't make movies like they used to. Yeah, what was? They had so many good movies. Like, look, Friday.
Who burned Big Mama on? Who burned Big Mama on?
Biggest impact on you when you were young. Okay, so it's not
book or movie.
Yeah. Well, I went
book or movie. I ain't gonna say book.
Yeah, I was reading the wrong type of books.
Same books.
Yeah, I was reading the wrong books as a kid,
Yeah.
I think my mama was just, she reading, that's good, not knowing what those books had inside.
R-rated books. Anyway. Check on y'all kids what they read, bro.
Anyway, okay, but in terms of the movies, what I will say, like, to me, the artistic aspect of it, like the storytelling and just catching Black culture at that time, like, that is what sticks out to me the most now.
Love Jones.
Yeah, Love
and
Jones.
Your left, right thigh. Love Jones.
So, yeah, that's all the Black movies from back in the day.
Who burned Big Mama on?
Plus the other little corny stuff, like the Home Alone 2s, and they have a Christmas edition?
Yeah, I mean, Home Alone was, everything was about, surrounded around Christmas.
All of them? Anyway,
yeah, when he went out, when the
those
mama
two,
went
like, I
out.
feel like that's like your little cheesy movies that you watch every
I don't know about
holiday.
that's
You
embedded
watched
in our.
it.
No, I'm saying that's
Oh.
embedded in the fabric. You're right.
Yeah. But
I agree. That's what I so she said soul food for her. Wait.
is that what you want to say?
No, because it was, I said, the biggest impact on you when you were young. What book or movie? Menace to Society. I always want to say that wrong. I don't know why. Old dog with the braids. You bought the beer at 12 o'clock. Like, I mean, I don't know why. I wasn't in the, but that was a good movie to me.
Well, it's good. I feel like I'm missing a really good
That's what
one
I'm
from back in
saying.
the day.
You said Love Jones, Bodyguard, but you said Soul Food.
What's the one? Oh, y'all gonna be mad when the one with the four girls, the four ladies, Queen Latifah.
Set It Off.
Set It Off. Yes.
So that made an impact on you? That was
Listen,
good.
these were good movies
No,
for
that
the
was damn good
artistic
movies.
components,
Yeah.
okay?
That was made by John Singleton?
I don't know. And maybe they made me think I was a baby thug in life.
So if you had a character out of that movie, who would
I don't know. No, I don't relate to
All right
him.
then. All right then.
It was just good, Jada Pinkett was in that, huh?
Yes.
Yes.
Come on, man. Frankie.
Yeah. That was some
You
good
said we
movies.
won't go hurt anybody, Frankie.
We watch, man, TV, because back in the day,
Ain't
TV
got
was
no
such a
damn
big
TV.
impact in
Right.
comparison to now. Like, now it's different, I guess, with streaming and binge watching. But watching Martin, like, was that Thursday? Martin and Living
He
Single.
didn't say sitcom.
I mean, I know, but I'm just saying, like, it's just bringing me back, okay?
Martin, I ain't gonna lie. Martin, I ain't gonna even get into the debate Martin or Will, but I mean, it is what it is.
That was good, too. So,
The Family Matters.
TV shows was different back in the day. They are right
Good
now,
times.
but it's just I don't know if I'm getting older and if that's a sign I'm starting to sound like
I
the
know
old
I'm
people. Like,
getting old.
yeah, the new generation don't do it like we used to do.
I know I don't care.
But it's just different.
That's
I'm
the
looking for some
goal.
good
The
movies.
goal is to get older.
Yeah. So all right, let's go on to the next one. I like these little questions.
Hold on, I got a question.
Oh, I said,
Okay, let me put it back.
Come on now.
I have a question for y'all. As new age married parents, do you feel like there's one hidden agenda pushed on these brand new kids with the LGBT community and just all those songs on TikTok that's just promoting like sexuality to these kids?
You want to go first?
Well, so the question was basically like
Just
how
being
do we
like new age parents, like how do y'all feel like y'all have to
monetize
your kids?
Yeah,
as
so
well?
I mean, so in instance, I mean, we have a 12-year-old. I have a 12-year-old son, and I mean, I can't. Only thing we could do is regulate him in the house, and I do have a wife that actually explained to him body parts, because when I grew up, my mom, I couldn't go to my mom and she said, this is your penis or whatever. Like, my wife actually explained to to them about sex of their anatomy. And, to answer the question though, only thing we can do or what we doing in our house is like trying to show them the truth. Like, you know what I mean? Hey, and whoever want to do what they want to do, that's fine. But we try to get them to understand, like, look, in this house, hey, if he was whatever, if you want to think about that, he come talk to us. I mean, that'd be a hard thing. We haven't had to deal with that, but that's one of those things too. Like, we gonna try to do what we can do. You know what I'm saying? What's the prayer? God grant me the serenity, the things that I could change,
Yeah,
and help me to know the difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't really our kids still young, 4, 2,
They coming
and
after
12,
them
but they
too, though.
coming. But I mean, we get it. I get that, and that's why I'm like, bruh,
With the cartoons.
without no disrespecting, no people or whatever, not like that. It's hard, bro. It's actually that's a tough question. Like
Yeah,
I said,
tough.
it's very tough because we're living in a society now where you could get canceled for anything. And you know, you got a lot of people don't even want to speak up about things like this. But it does make it hard to parent in a way, because now it's like either or. Like, you gotta kind of show your kids like, oh, to do this, to do that, and they can be confused. Because I mean, we're talking about kids that don't even have a frontal lobe yet. Like, the brain don't develop till you're 25, so they don't have an understanding. And I'm not even getting into debate with nobody about that, about science anyway.
Yeah. So for me, I would say, you know, if I think about just identity, and this is taking it all the way back to Adam and Eve, okay? To me, that was the first thing Satan went after, was the identity, you know? And so I think here we are in this new age where it's all this confusion. Am I a boy? Am I a girl? Am I a they? And all of this. And again, to each their own. You know, people can decide what they want. However, in terms of my children, I am going to teach them, you know, you are a girl, you are a boy, because that is how they were born in terms of my point of view. And again, everybody do what you want. I do think in terms of like the school system, because that is a thing. You know, when I go to my child's school, then I'm seeing like
LGBT
certain
flags,
like, and rainbows and all kinds of stuff. So, you know, as a parent, it is one of those things where I have to remember to make sure I'm pouring into my kid, you know, and even having conversations. Oh, how was your day? What's going on? What's the kids talking about? Because I want to be tuned in, and then you got to pay attention to like the YouTubes and everything, because and not even just that. Like my daughter, she's 4, and she was watching a movie. I won't say the name of the movie, but nonetheless, in the movie, I kept noticing, and it's like kid superheroes is the most I say, but I kept noticing they kept splitting up the little boy and the little girl, the black little boy and the little girl.
Oh, yeah, I remember you showed me that.
And every time, so first of all.
And they looked angry or something like that?
Yeah.
She looked angry when dealing with him?
The 2 children, because they was brother and sister, but the parents on the movie, they had them arguing all the time. Now, all the other parents of the children was just
civilized.
Fine. You know? But then you come over here, and it's, you splitting, you keep showing the parents arguing, and then you know, talking about, get away from me, and you always putting them on different sides of the scene or whatever's going on. And I just thought that that's so interesting, you know, because it's just certain messages. So I know you asked about, you know, the LGBTQ community and all of that, but it's so many different aspects and of identity that are being impacted, I feel like, by media. And some people have good intentions. That's one good thing I do think about social media, is that it's a platform that opens you up to so many people out there and positive influences. It's just that you have to connect and tune into those positive things versus, you know, the world, the negativity is out there, you know, and it was there before, but I just think that we in a world where, you know, it's hard for you to have an opinion if it doesn't match somebody else's opinion. And my thing, I'm gonna love everybody. It's not, you know, it's not to shame, judge anything towards anybody. However, there are some things, what's it folks say, standing on business? Some things I stand on business about, and that's not gonna change or waver with me. So
right, and I mean also, and that was beautiful to say it too, babe. And I mean the thing is with that, we in 2024 where, you know, you got a lot of these kids now that a lot of people don't talk about, the over sexualization or the hypersexual type things.
Everything sexualized,
right? Like everything over sexualized, hypersexual
trying
with
to
the
teach
boys,
kids, you know,
oh, just everything. Yeah, just everything. I mean, it's like I said, it's a very touchy subject that we, you know, continuously still would give that to God and pray about it, because we still have to raise our kids. Like, so we're not criticizing constructively or anything towards no one. So that's one of the things, we still got to raise our kids.
I think Gennard said a good point about praying about it, because there are times where I kind of get worried about certain matters, you know, and I have to remember, like, some things are bigger than me, some things are out of my control. Like, I can't control my kids. I'm not going to be around them all the time, right? No. But I definitely take it to God in prayer, and then, like, praying for those individuals that's around them, praying for the environments that they're in and whatnot, their friends, and And that's another little part too, the little friends. I do feel like as a parent, sometimes like I can't always express what might make me uncomfortable about a kid or a person or somebody that
Right.
might be trying to be around my children or family. But for anybody out there, if your spirit on the inside tell you something, you know, that spirit of
Yeah.
discernment, go with that. Because sometimes, like, and what I've seen is later in life, it's like, I knew it.
Yeah, or when someone say that gut feeling, because I didn't
Yeah,
even know
same
our
thing. That-
yeah, I didn't even know our guts have brains. That's how they broke it down. Because the bio something you will know all that type of terminology stuff. But I didn't know the gut has a brain also. So
Yes.
they say follow the gut feeling. Like I be following the gut to go get a shrimp po' boy.
you
You know what I'm saying? I gotta lose weight. But it is what it is. Yeah.
That gut talking a little too much sometimes.
You ain't lying. I'm from New Orleans. We eat shrimp po' boy. Hot side of cheese. No tomato. Oh, so we gotta pick another got a lot.
I think you picked the last one. My turn.
Why you pick this one?
No, I want my own.
Why would I put it back in the bag?
I don't know about this one. If you could design a dream job for me, what would it be?
You asking yourself that?
No.
question? I gotta answer it.
If you could design a dream job for me, what would it be?
The director over YouTube.
You just saying something.
No.
Go
The
ahead.
reason why I say that because I think that for everything that I looked at in your history and by you already being a person, a professor, and all that type of stuff, that's in your caliber to run a corporation, even your owns. But I'm saying you may get the experience from that to do your own thing.
That's so sweet.
I think you like media and all that stuff. You like media. You like teaching. So maybe director L.I. Help. I don't know, but it's something. Oh, the lady told me about Striker too. You need to apply for that. Anyways.
You better stop it.
Oh yeah, I forgot we on. Yeah.
Anywho,
You might have to cut that out.
So today, this episode is sponsored by Level Water. I want y'all to try that, you know. Let everybody know what y'all think.
pH 9.0. Do y'all know what pH means? Because everybody be sitting up there talking about water. It means potential hydrogen. And I used to be a water treatment operator. So that's why I'm telling y'all. Listen to me. And I think this water he probably went through reverse osmosis. No, he got calcium,
you
magnesium,
gonna
add
give us
hardness
the
to the
whole
water.
lesson on the water? We gonna be dying of thirst by the time.
That boy, your water good, boy. It's good.
It is good because I was thirsty.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to that question.
Oh,
dream
yes.
job.
Where's the question? That's
up
what I
there.
gotta see.
I mean, yes.
That's it?
If you could design a dream job for
Hey, but
me,
just
what
ask
would
it
it be?
all over again.
All right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So,
You want me to ask?
no, I'm asking.
Oh, my bad.
If you could design a dream job for me, what would it be?
So, like I said, the dream job for you would be the director over YouTube. You said why, but I think it would be the director over YouTube.
Tell me more.
The reason why I say, YouTube, because like you good with that stuff. Like instructor, even though you're a teacher, different between instructor and teacher, but you've been like teaching people. You've been, showing people how to do stuff. You helped me pass college chemistry when I was struggling and wanted to break the damn computer. So you asking me about why I think you would be a director over something.
Well,
What you think?
what you think? I'm gonna say for your dream job. You ain't gonna be able to guess it.
A talk show host.
No, that's what you want to do.
I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know about
A
that.
chef.
A chef?
Yeah, your food be good. I'd be so happy when you cook.
They be good, but I don't be measuring nothing.
That's
I just be
okay.
eyeballing.
It might be different every time you cook it, but it's good every time. How about that?
I like that. That girl good.
I'd be so happy I came in the house. Yes, that was yesterday, huh?
She came inside. No, you could tell that story.
It was a whole chicken. He put a whole chicken in the air fryer. I never saw a whole chicken in the air fryer. And I feel like he had the chicken, the little legs hanging in there. Ooh,
I
but
wonder,
yeah.
and I mean that was the thing. Like as far as the food, I mean, I know that you probably, I don't know what you had going on, but I'm like, at least I could help by cooking food because I know I had to go back out and work. So,
But I think they're running y'all family too. But he's really good. You act like you the first chef. You never like when I say your daddy be cooking too.
he
If
be trying
daddy
to
see
tell
this,
me my crawfish, man. No, listen, I taught myself how to cook.
they be in competition, okay? But nonetheless, that's how Gennard got me into this marriage. He was making me French toast with blueberries, and he want to make sure he sprinkled the powdered sugar on there. You remember that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. All of that. So, but nonetheless, I do think that you're really good in cooking that food.
I love that.
Yeah.
I did not know
so if
that.
it was a job in the world for you, you got that skill to rely on.
Lord,
Mm-hmm.
that's good.
All right, your turn.
That girl.
Hold on, everybody know we got a little short for time, so we're gonna close out the questions, and I'm gonna ask y'all some closeout questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, so being married over 10 years, what's your advice to someone that's watching this episode, who's thinking about getting married, or someone who's going through things in marriage right now for his finances, everything?
You want me to go?
You can go.
So, I would tell people, as far as like marriage, I think it's like 4 things, and if you guys think about anything else, I think there are 4 things that you want to talk about. It's something that me and my wife is still working on, but 4 things that you want to talk about is child rearing, sex, in-laws,
And money.
That's finance.
God.
That too. but what I said, sex, in-laws, finances, and child rearing.
Okay.
That's the main 4 things that I think that needs to be, talked about. Like, because even if it goes to sex, even if it goes, because some men out here, we may feel like, not me per se, but some men may, I felt like that in the beginning, but some men may feel like when you get married, sex stops. They talk about that.
It's all these stereotypes and myths and rumors and everything else. I just don't know.
I could honestly say that I don't think that, it stops. I just think that maybe I pissed you off. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe I done pissed her off. The house wasn't clean. And also I gotta say, babe, you could tell me it too. When you have kids, that impacts the marriage.
Yeah, time management.
Yeah,
if I'm getting up at the crack of dawn, gotta get them children, comb their hair, brush their teeth, breakfast, get them to school. Then I gotta go work.
Stuff.
Then I gotta pick them back up. Okay, pick them back up. And then I gotta feed them again, baths and all that. Then 9, 10 o'clock and
9, 10 o'clock, daddy coming through the door. Looking like a gorilla.
Looking like, oh, all right, what are we doing now? It's just like sleeping. That's what we doing.
So yeah, I mean, like I say, any word of advice, like she's saying, like honestly, it is like I said, child rearing, sex, in-laws, and money. I mean, like the finances, like that's the main thing. But also, when I was doing the research on most marriages end in divorce because of lack of commitment. So how can we break that down? Because lack of commitment is what? Is that a man not committed or a woman not committed? Because that's what they say. It wasn't finance. It was lack of commitment.
I mean, I guess everybody would have to define what does commitment mean to them, Right. And so it's just like, because I do think, you could be 2 people together but walking separately, Mm-hmm. And so, or you can commit in some ways but then not in others, So it's like, yeah, we can, eat this food together. We can live in a house together. But in terms of this money, that's separate. Right. So, but, I think everybody just got to be open to those conversations. And again, it depends on mindset, right? that's one thing I think that people should talk about before they get together, right? You really need to explore somebody's thought processes, because that's my biggest thing. I want to know how you think through situations, because at the end of the day, like, we're going to have various things. We're going to change, right? We're going to get older, new situations, children, all of that, right? But if we can think and grow together, then I'm like, all right, we can roll with this. But
And that's one, and you know, to your point, like, I think that's the one thing that you may not, you may remember this, but I remember one time, I think when you went to Atlanta, you came home and you was like, you want our marriage to work. You was praying for me. You was doing all these things, and the commitment piece for me is just like, you know, I think about that. Like, of course, we done had times where we done thought about divorce and all these different times. Couple years, 1 year ago, we thought about it months ago, whatever, but it was one of those things to me, like, I wanted to commit to loving you and saying that, you know what? Because I remember that time. Like I said, when you was in Atlanta, you was like, oh, I want this to work. And that's one thing I say, too. Like, I know what it is. I know what it feels like to give up, but I don't know what it feels like to keep going.
yeah. And I know for me, like, growing up, it's so many thoughts when you ask about, like, what advice basically will we give to people.
Yeah,
it's so
it's a
much.
lot. It's a lot.
But so what I would say, though, is, like, don't be afraid to change, especially for the good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a lot of stuff growing up wise, a lot of things we see here. Some of that stuff you can take into your home and family, but some of that stuff you need to delete, erase, get rid of 110%.
And that's when you came to me too. When you honestly, I was like, and if y'all like me in the beginning, like, don't be against going and get the help, because as black men, like myself, I wasn't gonna say I was against therapy, but I was just like, I don't want to go back or whatever. It's not gonna work. But my wife did give me somewhat of an ultimatum, but you know, but I also look at that like, she want to see me grow. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, at first I'm like, man, she trying to control me because I had a rebellious spirit. Me and my partner always talk about that, and I was just like, you know, I need to listen to what my wife's telling me, man. Like, and it's gonna help me. So that's one thing I would say is the unresolved childhood trauma, get that stuff fixed, which is gonna take time. I mean, we black, we all went through some things, and I didn't see
not
all, but yeah, I didn't see a healthy marriage growing up, and like you said, B, I don't unconsciously, I think you bring that into your marriage.
Yeah, I think that you sometimes don't realize that you're not even really responding to a person. You just doing what you saw, you know? So, like, having to really challenge that and really sit down and say, okay, well, what is it that I want from my family? Or, like, how do I envision my life and my days and whatnot? So, but my advice to somebody who's dating and whatnot, talk. Y'all got to ask each other important questions. Like, I think sometimes we miss having important conversations, and then unfortunately we get to situations like, ooh, how we gonna handle this?
When
you know,
blow up happens,
yeah, and it's like, no, we have to talk. And I know finances a lot of times tends to be a big area for people. But yeah, talk about, okay, what do you typically spend your money on? How do you manage your money? Like, how many bank accounts do you have? Yes, what is your credit score? All of those kind of things, because it tells you a lot. And it's not about judging, right? Because even in that conversation, I want to see, how do you communicate about that? Do you start screaming and yelling? Do you avoid the topics? You know, because again, we have to converse about a number of things.
Right.
So it's like, if when we get to hot topics, if we can't handle that together, that's going to be a problem, you know?
Right. And I also think that, if I could remember, when we first started dating, I was like, what actually made you agree to being with me? Because I think you were saying that I was working or something like that. I had a uniform on.
That's different. Well, okay, because I had certain things. Okay, when we say criteria, yeah. Okay, a man had to have his own place. He had to have his own car. And it was just because, you know, I felt like if you had your own stuff, you know, then that let me know it's important to you to have it. Because I've seen other situations where somebody didn't have and they didn't care to have anything else or do anything else, you know? So it's just like, you know, is this person willing to go out in the world and do these things for himself? Because if so, then he gonna be willing to do it for me and the family.
Right, and let's not say like that, because I don't want people to take that out of context of her saying that. Like, she have given chances. She gave me a chance to, like, yeah, I had an apartment, but it's not like I had furniture and stuff like that. I think I had like just a mattress and not even a bed frame.
No, you had no, because I was a part of it too. I was the air mattress. I wasn't really working with that. I did that in the past. I did that in the past with some. Well, listen,
that's what I'm saying. No, I got you. We don't have to say no
trying
name.
to work with folks and trying to be. Oh well, this brother's trying.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, as men, I mean, I can't speak for all men, but I do think that at some point we change when y'all do challenge us. I would say I think I like a challenge.
Yeah, there was a saying.
I don't care what
people
y'all
may
saying.
say, and it is what it is. It says, if I'm too much for you, feel free to go find less. And I know that may come off as bougie, cocky, or whatever it is, but I truly feel that way. Like, everybody should have that mentality. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, if I'm okay with certain things, if I value myself, if I think I'm worth certain things, then why should I change myself for somebody else? And vice versa to anybody else. If you be like, oh, I want a girl that. You know what I'm saying? If that's you and what you want, then go have it.
Which you never really, but that's the thing though. You never really gonna get what you want.
I think so. I mean, okay, now I'm not saying be unrealistic.
Yeah.
Because I do think that people hear, oh, well, let me go make a list of like 50,000 things. That's crazy. You know, no. But you do want some core things. Like, okay, because I mentioned, having a home or whatever, place of his own.
Because I don't want people to think like she's talking about a real house. No, you met me with an apartment.
You know, people can have what they want. But also, someone who knew the Lord or desired a relationship with the Lord. Also, a family person, because I knew that family time was big for me. So, quite frankly, yeah, if you like to run the streets, that ain't going to really work for me, you know, because I'm wanting to be doing the spacewalk with the kids in the backyard, in which we really do that sometimes. So, you know, you have to know it's not about it, like, don't hear my preferences. You have to have your own preferences, you know, and then be okay to go find someone that matches that. If anything, I think sometimes we try to be with people who don't match it, and then you're sitting there trying to force somebody to be this way, that way, and every other way when that's not them.
And I forgot who said it, but at some point too, I could say this, because to your point, people made the whole list thing is like, okay, whatever you write on the list, everything that you desire on the list, then you become that.
That too.
You see what I'm saying? You
gotta bring it. Don't be over here half stepping.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You want all this and
you can't sit up there and say you want a man that have this, but you don't have nothing. Mm-hmm. Like, come on. Or vice versa for the man. Or I want this female, she got to be my piece and da-da-da-da. But what are you bringing? Peace is not a practice. Peace is not a place, it's a practice. Yeah. You pay for that.
For peace?
Yes. And what I mean, not paying monetary-wise. Paying for it as far as, like, you know, it could be, because you practicing peace. It's not nothing that you can't be my peace. If I make you my peace, then that means that when you come in a room, then I'm peaceful. Well, if you leave the room, then I'm not peaceful. Why would I make you my peace? That's something that I'm as far as paying for it means.
That's what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, yeah, you're not. I'm not saying that you're not gonna bring me peace. I'm not saying that, but I'm not gonna make you my peace. Yeah, I gotta practice that.
Yeah, and I think the last thing you asked, you said, if people are struggling in a relationship.
In a relationship, yeah. And if they are struggling in a relationship, once again, we've been struggling. I feel like we've been bumping our heads for the first 7 years, I would say. And I think of more than that. But I think that you came to me and honestly, I had to kind of let ego and pride go, I would say. Ego and pride hang out in the same playground. They playing on the seesaw together. So it's like, as a man, I can't speak for every man, but I could say that ego and pride was, like I said, I wanted to hold on to that, and I could have lost my family because of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, and it's something that I got to work through every day.
Yeah. I think, again, like having a family, this is like one of the most valuable things in the world, you know? So it's gonna take a lot of courage sometimes.
Work.
Like to let go of those things, that takes courage. But then also for me to ask for certain things, because it is this may not work, and okay, if it's a no, then what does that mean for me? Does that mean that I gotta pack up all my stuff and leave? Or like where do I go with the kids and all of that? But he know, because I'm very transparent and real with him. So I'm like, look, either we gonna do this thing together or we not gonna do it at all. I say that all the time. Because I had to start really sitting back, because again, you may have, mind you, so that might have been the criteria, some of the things I looked for when we first got together. But then here we are 10 years later, some of those things have changed because I've grown, learn different things. We have different dynamics in terms of we have more kids now.
Right.
And whatnot. So all of those different things, plus the world and life and interactions, all of that impacts you. So your needs become different, you know? So being able to have quiet time with myself to evaluate, what do I need? What are my thoughts? Where are we going? All of those different things, and learn how to communicate that, because I'm still working on effective communication.
I think we both are. That's another thing too. Not to steal your thunder. That's the main way. If you are going through something, honestly, find a level of communication with you guys. And if you can't figure out a way, because that's going to be the main thing, is effective communication. But what are y'all communication style? Yeah,
that you definitely have to learn that. Put the guns down, because that's not your enemy.
Yeah, and one thing I learned from what me and you was talking about too, because you read the 4 agreements, but I learned, I don't know if it was in that or whatever I read. It was like, if you put the walls up, if you put up walls, then okay, you may not let this bad thing in, but you also may not let the good in.
Yeah.
Put the walls and put the guns down, like you said.
Yeah. So it's definitely needed.
It's facts. Like, I mean, that's what I say too. Like,
gotcha. So I have a question for y'all. I'm sorry.
That's
I have a question for you. Yeah, but
that chicken came back on you.
But this question deserves a choke, right? Because I won't get neither one of y'all in trouble.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, this is one of those questions.
Go ahead.
What do y'all both miss about being single?
I mean, I guess the only thing I miss about being single is kind of like going in a house and it being 100% quiet.
Sorry.
That's about the main thing. That's funny to me too. I laugh too. Shit. Like,
I mean, same.
Quiet,
really, to
bro,
be honest, the same.
Quiet.
You know, I miss.
Peace, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
y'all talk about
quiet time,
let her
being
be my
alone. Okay. These people, and then this one here, he talks all day long. Okay,
all day, son.
What we drove to Baton Rouge. This man, oh my goodness, I caught myself trying to read a book. I feel like he was so excited to be talking, and I'm just like,
bro,
okay,
bro. And I mean, being a stay-at-home dad, it didn't. Like I said, it didn't. It helps a lot. I say it helps a lot. It didn't help as much because
I talking. Why?
No, it didn't help because I was.
You talking with them kids.
Back to me like that.
so I think what people
really
may think though is like, oh, what about the dating of other people and all of that?
I ain't thinking about that.
The media in the world makes it seem like infidelity and all of those things are like such a big thing in a marriage. For me personally, I care less. Like, I have too many things that I'm trying to do that I don't have time to be sitting here looking at this one, that one. Like, I don't have time, energy. I'm trying to maintain these 3 kids. Well, I already told you how much he be talking, so
they're trying to maintain their own sanity
and my sanity too. Like,
yeah,
I don't have space and time and working and like just doing my own things. Like, even like to me, when you busy, you don't have time for all of that. That just means you bored, or you not that into the person and whatnot. You might have to reevaluate why you got married. But so it's not my struggle. But I also, before we got into our marriage, though, like, I was at a place of, no, I'm ready to be married or find whoever the one is. So I already wasn't really like, oh, let me be out in the streets and playing.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think she never was that female. I think you always. I think you told me. I think some guys didn't even want to talk to you because they felt that you was wifey material.
Too much.
You was too
like,
much.
I can't be the things
all
that
your
you
relationships
need.
was really long.
I can't, I
That
see
wasn't
how
mine, though.
valuable you are, and I just can't be that man right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's another Clay. We didn't all heard it, been through it. I'm telling you.
She going through it.
The reunion was just the other day, so I'm like, ooh. But Clay was good on the reunion. I think so. But anyway, move
Here
on.
we go to the.
So last question.
Go ahead, bro.
What have y'all learned about yourself so far doing this interview? Doing this podcast today.
I learned that me and my wife, we actually have the chemistry to talk like with each other, and we should do this more often.
Yeah, agreed. Because of course we talk one-on-one, but you never know how that translates, and especially when it comes down to other people in, because he knows that's one of the things. I'm just like, do you let other people into your home and family and your business, because I can kind of be very protective of those things. So to come on and to flow naturally, I do think that, again, sometimes when you do have the connection outside, it shows later on. So I think that that's good.
And that's something that I said that we're working on. I'm like, as a unit, like you said, like one thing I always remember, you said, even though what I learned about her with this, but what I learned about her overall, honestly, just being with her, bro, is she is a family person, but it's like me learning to naturally let her be who she is. That's what I had to learn. Because, we get into these relationships and marriages or whatever, and we date. And like my therapist had to tell me, he was like, because you know how we'll tell somebody, we'll be like, oh, I'm doing this for her. And he was like, honestly, you really doing it for yourself, because you doing it for what your own benefit is. So in the midst of that makes sense. It's like, I still got to let my wife be who she is and accept her and love her for who she is.
And I think same on the other side, right? Because a lot of times we could, especially I think women, we do have this bad, in a sense of like, we can see a situation happening and we want to direct and tell them, no, you got to do it this way, da 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 da. And what I've learned in life though is, let that man do it, and we're going to get to the same end result. It may have not been how I would have done it, but we're going to get to the same end point, So kind of that whole micromanaging, folks, you got to bag up sometimes, and just let them figure it out. We might be riding on the highway and make a few wrong turns and whatnot, get off track and not listen to Siri, Alexa, everybody. That's the you make a turn. But it's all right. We make it to the final destination, so...
And I would say too, like honestly, I to your point, I get that, but also what wisdom taught me is, if Megan knows something that could help me, why not listen to it?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm saying No, you ain't got it always, but I hear what you're saying.
I'm just saying, why not take heed? Because that's that whole thing with kids. They'd be like, well, you went through it. Well, but I'm telling you to do it so you don't have to go through what the hell I went through.
Yeah.
So same thing you said. If you tell me something, then I should take heed to it. But like I said, that's if you in a rebellious spirit, you're not gonna receive it as well. Like I would.
I definitely think learning about yourself and then learning really like growing in your relation. For me, my relationship with God has been helpful,
right?
Because it's like I have had to learn again when we start talking about putting those guards down, forgiveness, like the peace and the joy, all of those concepts. Like what I didn't realize before was like I was reading the word, but just kind of. Just reading it like it's just there, to know the story, but not really apply it, But when I really start thinking about, loving him or like being gentle and being kind, like that helps me, and I'm still working on it, in terms of my delivery with messages to him, because I had to start, and I'm still working, like I said, but learning how to calm down when I'm talking, because sometimes I do feel like, again, like Black women, we may want to say something is assertive, but it could be aggressive, and you have to kind of learn how to communicate again, like we've been talking. So it's like learning how to calm down a bit when we have difficult conversations, and or if there's something, because again, as I talked about, knowing what my wants are and all that, but if I go to him like, yeah, and you better do this, and or else I'm leaving, that is the worst way to communicate that.
Right.
You know, that's not how that's going to be communicated. But I can sit down, hey babe, I've been thinking about these things, this is really important to me, something like that, you know. That communicates better, and giving him time to process, because that's another thing, you know, I'm working on. I go to therapy too. So.
Yeah, we both.
I love my therapist.
We both go to individual therapists, and we went to therapy together.
We did together, and I think actually that we did better. Well, personally, doing individual therapy
first.
Like, yeah, because we did the couple together, and sometimes, and everybody is different, but sometimes
we had some fiery sessions.
Yeah.
Like it was she cried sometimes, I'm getting mad, don't want to talk. You know, we had some issues with that. But tell you, I won't cut you off, man.
I think in fact, because as we talked about ultimatums and non-negotiables, that was one of mine for him, was that, no, you have to go, if you don't mind me saying that.
That's what I said. I said that.
Yeah, but I did tell him that he had to go. And it's just because, again, sometimes when
you saw something I didn't see, what mentally wise, like I had some emotions that I still are learning how to regulate, or unresolved childhood trauma, me and my mom getting over things, like all that type of stuff. And one thing I could tell y'all that y'all probably already know is, honestly, if you don't get it right with your mom, or what I had to learn, if I don't love my mom, I don't think I could ever love my wife the way that I need to. And that's something that I feel like I needed to continue to amend and fix with my mom. To love you the way I need to love you. And also, like, I joke about this, but what she was saying, I think at some point our spouse, our wives, we do need to let them act in their feminine energy. Because she's so, I feel like my wife tired of being a no limit soldier. She tried to, you know what I'm saying? She want to.
We have to have that conversation, because when the soft life, okay, femininity, all those things. Like, I know these are catch things on social media these days, but at the same time, I mean it, okay? Like, I want to sit and rest, and I want to be pretty, okay?
Yeah, I feel
like I'm not meant to be hard.
I feel like bro, everybody.
I'm trying to moisturize skin, okay? Yeah. Like hair on point. I don't have time to be sitting there fussing, arguing, stressed out with high blood pressure. No.
Yeah, a lot of these dudes might think.
My grandmother died. I don't think so. And my grandfather lived a good 20 years after. All he did was play all day.
He died. Your grandma died 30 years before him.
20, 30 years. And
wow.
Anyway.
From an aneurysm.
It ain't going to be me, okay? It ain't going to be me.
She died from an aneurysm.
Listen, I don't know. I ain't trying to,
But
send you to the grave before me, but I'm just saying.
I'm going to get myself together too. Really.
I'm just saying, I ain't going out like that. So soft life me all day.
Right.
And drink this water right here. Where's that level?
9 point pH.
Yeah.